Scalability means capability to work in any environment. So why we are using a scalability in big data means here big data in which we are handling the huge number of data, that too in a different formats. So we have to ensure that scalability. So and where the system can work in any environment. Maybe the data maybe it's heavy or small, so that we are using the scalability. And there are in this scalability vertical scalability. What is mean by vertical scalability? What is mean by vertical scalability? Yes, vertical scalability means it increases the capabilities of a system. And here horizontal scalability means what? Here in vertical scalability, we are increasing only the system capabilities. But in when come to horizontal scalability, we will increase the number of systems so that they can share among work and the processing. And here next is an execution of an analytics software. How we are going to execute an analytics software? What is mean by scaling up and scaling out? I told in last class what is mean by scaling up and scaling out. What is mean by scaling up and scaling out? Last class ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರಿ ತಾನೆ ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬೆಂಚ್. Scaling up means we are designing an algorithms according to the data structures. Scaling out means we are adding an systems and we are also running the tasks in a parallel, that we called as an scaling up and scaling out. How we are going to execute this? Easiest way to the scaling up and scaling out is implement it on a bigger machine with more CPUs for greater volume, velocity, variety and complexity of an data. Means how we are going to achieve the scaling up and scaling out means we have to develop an algorithm and we have to divide the systems for to run the parallel tasks. So we have to implement the bigger machines with the more CPUs for what? To process the big data and deploy the massively parallel processing platforms, cloud, grid, clusters and distributed computing software. To achieve the scaling up and scaling out of the big data, we have to use the massive parallel processing platforms. What is mean by parallel processing? Parallel processing. What is mean by parallel processing? Tell me what is mean by parallel? Simultaneously running means we are dividing the one task or one data and running each data, dividing the data we are running at a time, that we called as parallel processing. And we are using the platforms such as cloud computing, grid computing and cluster and distributed computing platforms to achieve the scaling up and scaling out. Next comes the and here, what is mean by parallel? The computational problem broken into a discrete pieces of subtasks and process simultaneously. What is mean by parallel processing means it is a task. It is divided into subtasks and it is run at a time, that we called as parallel processing. Okay, then and here scaling uses the parallel processing systems at several levels, distributing the separate tasks on separate threads on the same CPU. What is mean by threads? Threads. CS tane? Your CS background, right? What is mean by threads? Huh? And here the distributing the separate tasks on separate threads means what? On the same CPU. ಏನ್ರಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಇಷ್ಟು ದಿನ? ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ 4th year. Everybody internship is completed. Then why are you absent from last 2 weeks, man? If you are not going to internship, means here how we are going to the scaling in a parallel processing. Silence. Parallel processing means we are dividing the separate tasks, and then we are dividing the one task into a separate on the same thread. Thread means two or more process run at a time, right? Thread means what? Two or more process run at a time. Means on the same CPU we are running in a different task or in a separate task on a same thread, and then distributing separate tasks on separate CPU on the same computer. And here also we are distributing the separate tasks and separate another CPUs on the same computer. For same computer we are dividing the tasks on a different CPUs and distributing separate tasks on a separate computers. How we are otherwise we are dividing the task to a separate computers. First we are dividing the task in a same thread for one single CPU, and then again we are dividing the task into a different CPUs for the same computer. You are understanding what I am telling? Means for the data processing we are dividing the task using a parallel processing. In that parallel processing we are dividing the task, separate task on one task into a separate on the same CPU on different threads, and then again different CPUs for the same computer. Okay, different CPUs for the same computer. Then again we are dividing the tasks on different computers. In three levels we are performing the scaling. Okay, in 3 levels we are performing the scaling for the big data. So this is the parallelization of a task. Then how we are next we are going to use the big data distributed computing paradigm. Means here you guys know what is mean by computing. Computing means what? Computing. Huh? Jora geli. Tell loud, man. Cloud computing. You have read cloud computing, right? I think you have one subject, cloud. Then tell me, what is mean by computing? What is mean by computing? Yeah, the computing means something we are deriving or something